Welcome to the 700 Club. For today's top headlines, let's go over to the CBN News Desk.
Thanks, Gordon. A severe winter blast is hitting the country right now, dropping more than a foot of snow in some areas of the Midwest, with heavy rains hitting the South and heading for the New England states. CBN's Ben Kennedy shows us what's happening.
It's turned into a chaotic day for holiday travel as a winter storm hits the country. Heavy rains and blinding snow knocked out a power plant transformer in Queens, New York.
It was insane. It was a really weird blue color.
The explosion even caused parts of LaGuardia Airport to lose power.
Come on, come on, come on.
Parts of New Orleans are also in the dark after transformers there exploded too.
That's crazy!
Travel is at a standstill in several states. I-70 in Kansas is shut down for more than 100 miles in each direction.
Probably 3-foot drifts.
The traffic nightmare stretches down to Texas, where flash floods shut down roads and even swept one car away. Firefighters were called out to save the driver.
All of those firefighters were like angels in heaven.
The storm is tracking east with mostly heavy rains and possible flash flooding. The weather is set to clear up sometime this weekend. Ben Kennedy, CBN News, Washington.
It looks like the partial government shutdown will go into the new year. The Senate met for a scant 4 minutes Thursday before adjourning, and no votes are set in the House for the rest of the week. Administration officials and congressional leaders are talking but making little progress. Congress is expected to reconvene on January 3rd when Democrats will take over the House of Representatives. Turning overseas to Eastern Europe, where the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is affecting one of the oldest churches in the world and millions of Christians. Dale Hurd reports.
Since the late 1600s, the Orthodox Church in Ukraine has been under the wing of the Russian Orthodox Church. Now it's independent of Moscow, after Ukrainian bishops voted to approve a charter for the new church, no longer under the care of the Moscow Patriarch Kirill.
This isn't like a church split in America. This is about political power and national rivalries and Vladimir Putin's dream of rebuilding the Russian Empire.
When the split was announced in Ukraine, there was a rock concert atmosphere, with Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko giving glory to God and saying, "The new united independent Ukrainian church was born today. What kind of church is it? It's a church without Putin. It's a church without Patriarch Kirill. It's a church without prayer for Russian officials and the Russian army." Moscow has vigorously protested Ukraine's bid for spiritual independence, and Russian President Vladimir Putin said, "There's nothing good in it, not for religious freedoms in general. It's a vivid, harsh violation of religious freedoms, and what worries me most is that redistribution of the property will definitely follow. In fact, it's already in full swing and might acquire very hard, if not deadly, features." Some believe Putin's anger over the church split could be why Russian border guards in November rammed into and opened fire on 3 Ukrainian Navy vessels.
It could be connected to what happened just a few weeks ago when this Bartholomew in Istanbul, with a stroke of a pen, took 12,000, a third of all of the churches under the Moscow Patriarch, and gave them to the Ukrainian Patriarch. This created anger in Putin. It's like you lost power over all of these, a third of his parishes.
Fearing war, the Ukrainian parliament imposed martial law and says Russia has massed troops and tanks on its border. But not all in Russia are as upset as Vladimir Putin. This Russian Orthodox believer said, "I don't get involved in it. God will manage everything. We just need to pray." Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Russia is accused of spreading political and social discord in the U.S. through social media like Facebook and Twitter. But here in the U.S., Christians are going online to spread a very different message. Heather Sells introduces us to one church that's training digital missionaries.
The Bethel Tech School aims to send digital missionaries into the marketplace to impact the culture right where it's at.
We started thinking about, how do we actually shift the mindset of communities, and how do we shift the mindset of society? Like, you can create new laws, you can create, you can put people in political places, but if you don't change the way people think, you're not going to change culture.
Bethel pastor Chris Valaton is on to a cultural shift that's hard to measure, the many ways in which we are all connected digitally and how that influences our thinking. It's a shift that has come quickly. In 2005, just 5% of American adults used at least one social media platform. Today, it's 70%. The Pew Research Center says Facebook is still the most widely used, but Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn are also big.
So we just got this idea of, like, what if we raise up digital missionaries and we send them like a people group, like we send people to Africa and India and some of these dark places, What would happen if the darkest places on the planet, they're not geographic areas, they're actually social groups.
The Bethel Tech School is a faith-based program that trains what it calls technologists to enter the workplace with excellence. It offers accelerated 33-week online programs for students of all ages to enter a workforce that needs talent.
There will be over 1 million unfilled tech jobs within the next 2 years. These aren't white or blue-collar jobs. These are the new-collar jobs.
Bethel's philosophy to bring kingdom values to the workplace, not just to bring salvation to workplace colleagues, but to shape media giants in a way that uplifts and ultimately points millions of social media users to Christ. Reporting in Redding, California, Heather Sells, CBN News.
Tech stocks led the way to gains on Wall Street Thursday, the Dow closing 260 points up and the labor market ending the year on a strong note. The number of people filing for unemployment is near a 49-year low. We'd like to remind you it's the end of the year and there's still time to give a tax-deductible gift by logging on to CBN.com.